December, we went up to north of Yorkshire to begin recording our second album. We went up to a farmhouse which is owned by a friend, and we're very grateful that she's lent it to us. It's quite a small space for the use of recording. We set up all of our amps in the bedrooms and drums in the living room. When we slept pretty much on top of our amps and on top of our drum kit. There's a control room downstairs next to the kitchen. And cables absolutely everywhere. You wouldn't really be able to recognise the house. It's underneath equipment essentially. So we recorded Sea of Regrets there. We liked the way it sounded, so we've gone back for the album. We were looking for a smaller space to record in order to get a tighter sound, a more streamlined sound. Elegies to Lessons Learned was recorded in a church, as you may know. We've mentioned it in press releases or whatever, and that gave it that big reverberant sound. And that was something that when we began writing, we were looking to get away from, really. We've been writing the record since the beginning of 2008, probably April, when we finished touring Elegies to Lessons Learned. And to begin with, we wanted to make we knew we wanted to make it a different sounding record. We thought that it was going to be very quiet and no reverbs and delays, and sort of make it everything that I Like Trains wasn't, if that makes sense. But as we've gone on with the process, more of those things have sort of crept in. But it is a tighter sound that we have now, more streamlined, a little bit more accessible probably. If that's not a dirty word. And it was a long process in trying to figure out exactly what it was that we wanted for this new record to sound like. And so hence the nearly 2-year gap. So we've been touring some of these songs, and then we came back from tour and we torn them, a lot of them apart again, and we put them back together in different ways. So they might not be recognisable to some of the people who have heard the tracks already. I think we tried to approach it in a different way. We didn't want all the songs to be finished by the time we reached the studio. We wanted there to be loose ends, and in order for us to be a little bit more spontaneous, to have a fresh energy onto the tracks. It's something that we've done with B-sides where we're not really prepared. We don't really know what the instrumentation is going to be, and so we've just spent 2 weeks experimenting, which was a lot of fun. It was a really exciting time, so I hope that sort of comes across on the recordings. So since December, throughout January, Guy and I have been recording overdubs. We've been doing lots of keyboards, we've been making sure all the tracks are in order. Started on the vocals. Guy and I were recording pianos today. I kind of forgotten how time-consuming and stressful making a record was, and it's really rewarding when things are going well. It's great, but then some things sort of baffle you, and you don't really know how to make it work, and then you just add one extra thing, and it might be a keyboard part, it might be a really insignificant part, but then everything just seems to work, ties everything together. So those are the good days, and then we have bad days, and I think everything sounds terrible and we should scrap it, but less of that. I think in the last week it's really started to come together for me. we seem to have this list of things left to do on each track, and for a while at the beginning of January it just seemed to be getting longer and longer, which isn't how a list should be. But things are slowly getting ticked off. In the next week or two, we're going to get some strings put on. Finish the vocals, and then we'll be ready to release. I'm really looking forward.
Can't move over to the light.
Get to that stage.
You're right.
Looking forward to being able to hear the songs again, because we're very much involved in the nuts and bolts level. You can hear how all the songs were put together, and I'm just making sure that each of those layers is exactly right. So I can't hear it. It's an overview at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to that. I've also been more playful with the rhythms. We've tried to step away from the 3/4 that we've gone with before, and got 4/4, all those exotic time signatures, and just messing around with rhythms a bit more. So that's been fun. Just we've stepped out of our comfort zone a bit more, and so a lot of that has taken a little bit of time to click for certain tracks. A bit harder to put together, but I think it's been worth it in the end. And lyrically, it's different. I've stepped away from historical themes. I'm trying not to explain exactly what all the songs are about. I'm looking to be a bit more cryptic lyrically, because I think a lot of people like to make their own minds up about what these songs are about, which is something that in the past people haven't been able to do with us. And it's part of the fun, isn't it? Listening to a song, trying to figure out what it's all about. There is a theme running through it. I'm not entirely sure how much to let on about that.
Nothing really, I don't think. Are we? We're doing anything different?
Just try and keep the speed up a bit more natural. No. Yeah.
Okay, Dan, ready.